Hi guys, my name is Lauren and welcome to my channel. This is not my first video, but I have decided to go ahead and do the BookTube Newbie Tag because it will be a while before I can get to like a monthly wrap up or anything like that, and I want to kind of keep a decent posting schedule. So, let's jump right in there. Number one, why did you start this channel? So, I started this channel because I was reading A Court of Mist and Fury, and once I finished it, I was so done. Like, I needed more. I was upset. I fangirled so hard. So hard. I wanted the book to be longer, even though it was already huge. There wasn't much fan fiction out there about it. I just needed more of these characters. So I went on Tumblr. I ate up everything that was on Tumblr. I went through fan fiction. I ate up all of that. And then somehow on Tumblr, I saw a tag for BookTube. And I went on YouTube and looked and came across this book review, and how did I not know that BookTube was a thing? Like, it's been around for years, and I didn't know, so I was a little upset about that. I could have jumped on this so long ago. I've been looking for a reason to start vlogging for years, actually, and I couldn't think of anything that interests me enough that I wouldn't let it fall by the wayside, that I could post about every day and just keep talking about it. Obviously, I read every day, but I really didn't think there was a niche on YouTube for that. But stupid me, I never looked. So once I got into this book, and then I came across this, I think it was Mrs. Knight Reads channel, and I saw her review for that. And then I started looking for more and realized that this was a thing. It's like, damn it. That was it. Like, immediately I knew I was making a channel. Like, I own my own business, and that revolves around books too. And I was like, I should have jumped on this a long time ago. Question number 2. What are some funny, unique things that you can bring to BookTube? Obviously, before I changed the name of my channel, because right now it's Offbeat Book Digest, and I think this is the 4th or 5th name that my channel has had in about a week or two. Like, I couldn't make up my mind. So a little while ago, one of the first names was Inks and Drinks, and at that point my plan was to have, for every book I read, my plan was to have a drink, like a made up mixed drink associated with that book. It won't be the full-fledged theme of this channel now, but I still want to incorporate that somehow. And then I'll also do wine Fridays, like so. And any book that I do not like, I have a glass of wine, and then I'll just kind of bitch about the book, probably. I won't bitch about it per se, but we'll discuss it. And, you know, wine, play on words. What are you most excited about with this new channel? Getting to meet other people who are spastic about reading as I am. I want to read all the books. I want to meet all the people, do all the things, basically. I'm just fucking excited. Like, I literally have a book in my hand every day. If I do not have a book, then I'm reading fan fiction. But I am reading something every single day of my life. I read at work a lot. I read just everywhere. When I read at work, people, you know, to be polite, hey, what are you reading? But then when you actually tell them you get excited about it, you get the blank face. So it'll be pretty cool to read and have other people to discuss it with, maybe even doing group reads. I hope to be able to get into that, because that's something I never got into on Goodreads, because I was a little nervous my voice would get lost and I wouldn't be able to interact with people without just getting like socially anxious and shutting down. So those are some things I'm really looking forward to, actually. That kind of back and forth, that rapport with someone else, like over books. It's really cool. Number 4, why do you love reading? So I love reading because reading is an escape. Like, my job is stressful. At some points my life is super seriously stressful. I like reading because I can kind of get lost in somebody else's problems, not mine. And it's also a reason I really don't read contemporary much, and I don't read nonfiction, is because I want to get lost in something that, like, in my mind is not possible, so I can't really correlate. Obviously, themes are the same and such, but if I'm reading, you know, about elves or wizards, witches, werewolves, whatever, it's a little, it's it's a disconnect, but it's not. Like, it's easier for me to get lost in that and then to get away from my problems. It's not as realistic. The world isn't. Obviously, the problems are the same thing sometimes that we face in real life, but it's so easy for me to get lost in that. So that escape from like real world problems is something I love about reading, and it's why I got so heavily into the fiction genre. Next question. 5. What book or series got you into reading? So I have consumed a lot of these tag videos before I got up the nerve to film one of my own. And I see a lot of people say Harry Potter. Now, I did love Harry Potter as much as everyone else. I was really into it. I read the first one, it came out, and then just followed it all the way to the end. But it was not the series that got me into reading. The first series I can actually remember reading was Carolyn King's Nancy Drew series. That series, I loved it. And it also helped that my mom loved that series too. She was reading them at some point, and then she got me into reading them. So that's something that's really special to me about those books. And also Julie Garwood's historical romance novels. I mean, they were highly inappropriate for me to be reading at my age. I used to steal them from my mom and read them. At first, I wanted to be reading what she was reading, and it was also a little bit of the books for my age were boring me. So I used to swipe her books at night and read them under my covers with a flashlight. So those two things they weren't the first ones that I read, but they're the first series the first books I can remember like devouring like crazy at that age. Next question. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? How long did it take for this to stop being so fucking awkward? Like, maybe it's because I'm socially awkward anyway, but I actually had to close the little viewfinder screen on my camera because I kept staring at myself to make sure I wasn't doing anything stupid. And this is the third time recording this video, because when I watch it back, I always be looking like off to the side instead of at the lens. So it's really awkward staring at this lens. There is no flashing lights, no anything to indicate the battery hasn't died. I could be talking to myself. I could be like view straight up my nose or something, or right off the side. I wouldn't know. Obviously, I checked it, but I can't see myself, and it's really weird. So how long did that take before it wore off? Because, yeah, weird. Next question. What challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Like I said, I'm awkward generally just as a rule, so hopefully after a while I can get comfortable enough that my personality starts to show through, because I think I'm funny. You might not, but hopefully after a while that'll get to come out once I stop, stuttering and grinning like an idiot and just feeling just really fucking awkward and weird about it. Other than that, challenges are getting a little better with editing so it goes a little quicker, because my first video, which was a review of this book, it took me like a full day to edit because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't want to just have one long continuous video and then so doing all the cuts and all this other stuff. It took a while, so that's the other thing I want to kind of get better at, and being able to do a little bit more cool stuff with my editing. Next question. Number 8, when did you start reading? So basically, as soon as I learned how to read, I've been reading ever since. There was no delay. It wasn't like a thing I picked up in middle school, high school. I have always been an avid reader. Like I said, my mom was an avid reader, and she instilled that in both me and my little sister, and we've just all been basically nuts about books for as long as I can remember. I don't know if I'm the worst, but I think I actually might be, because I read a ridiculous amount of books. It's ridiculous. It really kind of is. Well, the next question, number 9. Where do you like to read? So, I just moved to Denver. All of my books, I have a ridiculous amount. There are boxes upon boxes upon boxes. They are in my mom's storage unit and my storage unit. When I moved here, basically everything that could fit in my truck is what I took. Other than that, it went in storage, or I threw it in the garbage. And since I wasn't throwing my books away, they're all in storage. So right now, been here since August. All my books are on my Kindle. I bought a Kindle so I can just kind of keep up still reading and not accumulate so much stuff yet until I get the rest of mine here. So with that being said, the Kindle allows me to read in some pretty oddball places. I read in my room, the living room, I read on the floor, I read in my bed, I read on the couch, I read at work. Sometimes I read when traffic is real bad on my way home from work in the mornings, which is really crappy. You should not. Don't do that, guys. This is really bad. But I do admit, like when traffic's at a standstill and I'm on my way home and most people are on their way to work, if I've been sitting there for a minute, we're just stopping and starting, I'll just kind of whip my Kindle out and like keep it up and do like a page and read a couple paragraphs or so. It's really horrible and I shouldn't, but sometimes when like I can't put the book down, I end up doing that and it's really, really bad. To this day though, since I moved here, my absolute favorite place to read, I have a pretty large balcony or patio or whatever you want to call it, and I'll sit out there in this armchair that I have, this recliner with a glass of wine and my Kindle. I don't need any light. I sit out there all night on nights when I'm off, and it is fabulous. I freaking love it. Last question, number 10 is, what kind of books do you read? So anything fictional. Even contemporary, I'll read every now and then, but I don't read a lot of contemporary fiction either. Basically, if it's paranormal, fantasy, that kind of thing, I'll devour it for the most part. My favorite authors, Patricia Briggs, Sherilyn Kenyon, Ilona Andrews, like Gina Showalter, Kresley Cole. Those are some of the paranormal romance and fantasy romance authors that I read. Last question, question number 10 is, what kind of books do you read? So basically anything that's fiction for the most part. I don't read a lot of contemporary, but every now and then I will. Mostly it's paranormal romance, urban fantasy, historical romance, that kind of a thing. Like Julie Garwood writes some fabulous, amazing, awesome, wonderful historical romance novels. I've read everything she's ever written. Sherilyn Kenyon has a wonderful Dark Hunter series that's paranormal romance, and I love it. Kresley Cole, Gina Showalter, Ilona Andrews, Patricia Briggs. For the most part, all of those authors, everything they've ever written, I have devoured it like an insane person. If you haven't read anything by those authors and you like paranormal romance, urban fantasy, that kind of a thing, definitely check them out. So I think I have run out of tag questions. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys to death. Are you still awake in there? Hopefully you are. Like I said, this is not my first video. I have done a review on Cinder, and I might take it down and redo it because I feel like it wasn't very cohesive and I was all over the place. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Pretty soon I'm going to try to do a December wrap-up because I have been reading like crazy this month. I will do a TBR. I don't know if I'll do a haul video because I haven't purchased any physical books in a while. They've all been books on my Kindle, but I might try to do one of those too. So, you know, any of the authors I've mentioned, you like their books, comment. I am always down for a good fangirling. So, like, subscribe, maybe, yeah. Fucking weird. Hit me up, guys. Hopefully I'll be posting some videos. I'm super excited about those. And thanks for watching my first video. Bye.